They say that marriage is the finish line of a great romance, but I learned the hard way that saying I do is actually just the sound of the starting gun. If you stop running, you don't just lose the race, you lose the person standing next to you. My name is Yelena. At 26 years old, I was working inside a big marketing company. My whole world moved around one man. His name was Caleb. He was 35. He owned the company. To everyone else, Caleb was like a machine, a man who never stopped working, a man who never smiled. People whispered about him. They said he had forgotten how to be happy. They said success had buried his heart. I was his secretary. That job often made me feel like a ghost in a loud room. For 6 months, I watched him from the side. My nerves were always tight. But deep inside, I carried a quiet love for my work, and more dangerously, for the man who barely knew I was alive. He would walk past my desk every day. His eyes always looked far ahead. He never once looked my way. Then came a Friday afternoon. That afternoon changed everything. The office was empty. Only the soft sounds of the air conditioning remained. My screen glowed as I finished the final report. Caleb came out of his office, but he did not walk past me. He stopped. He looked at me. He truly looked at me. And he whispered something simple. Yelena, thank you. In that quiet moment, my heart beat so hard, it felt like a trapped bird inside my chest. That night, I could not sleep. I told myself it was foolish. He was a giant of business. I was the girl who organized his calendar. But the heart is a stubborn thing. Mine refused to listen to reason. In the weeks that followed, something changed. The cold wall between us started to crack. Caleb began asking about my life outside those glass walls. He remembered how I liked my coffee. He gave me small, rare smiles. Those smiles felt like sunlight breaking through a winter sky. I saw the loneliness hidden inside his tired eyes at night, and it pulled me closer. I understood then. I was not just attracted to him. I was deeply, completely in love with him. But that new hope was destroyed on a cold Monday morning. I walked into Caleb's office. There stood a woman. She looked like she had stepped off a runway in Paris. She was beautiful. Her long black hair fell like silk. Her red dress filled the room with power. She stood very close to him. Her voice was soft and low. She told him how much she had missed him. Her name was Seraphine. She was the ghost of his past. When Caleb introduced us, Seraphine looked at me with cold eyes. Her voice dripped with pride. She called me just the secretary. The days after that were slow pain. Seraphine became a regular at the office. She took Caleb away for long lunches. He missed our meetings because of her. He stayed silent when she treated me like furniture. Then came the moment that broke me. I heard them talking inside his office. Seraphine begged him for another chance. She said they were perfect together. Caleb answered with a quiet, "Maybe you're right." The world tilted beneath my feet. I ran out of the building. Tears blurred my eyes all the way home. I decided I could not stay. I prepared my resignation. But when Monday came, Calum looked like a man broken by his own choices. That evening, after everyone had left, he finally spoke to me. He said Seraphine wanted to come back to him, but then he told me a hard truth. She did not love him. She loved the empire he had built. She loved the status he gave her. She had never truly seen the man behind the desk. Then he turned toward me. He said I was the one who saw him. I knew his moods. I cared for his heart. He admitted he had deep, terrifying feelings for me, but he feared the power difference. A boss and his worker. It was dangerous. To protect what we could become, Calum made a bold decision. He moved me to another department. He gave me a big promotion, better pay. He wanted us to stand on equal ground before we moved toward love. I accepted, and for the first time, we began dating as equals. 8 months later, he was down on one knee. 1 year after that, I became his wife. I was 28 years old. Going from employee to wife brought new problems. The office gossips talked about me. They painted me as a clever woman who played her cards well. They did not understand our bond. Calum was a dream, loyal, kind, steady. But as months became years, a quiet comfort settled over our home. I worked hard, I managed the house, and slowly I stopped taking care of how I looked. I traded silk for oversized sweaters. I stopped reaching for my makeup. Calum never complained. He was always a gentleman. He never compared me to the beautiful women he met at work. Then someone new arrived. A new secretary named Leora. She was young, she was bright. She had a powerful energy around her. I noticed Calum seemed lighter at the office. His smiles came easier. At home, he was still a loving husband, but a seed of fear grew inside my mind. One afternoon, I visited the office without warning. I saw Leora leaning over his desk. It was not their conversation that stopped my heart. It was her shoes. They were tall, shiny, and styled exactly like the ones Seraphine used to wear. In the painful flash, I understood. Calum was a man of honor. He was not unfaithful, but he was still a man. He responded to beauty, to effort, to a language I had stopped speaking. I felt invisible in my own marriage. In a moment of desperation, I did something I never imagined. I called Seraphine. She surprised me. She agreed to meet. Over coffee, I opened my heart. I told her my fears about Leora. I told her about my fading spark. Seraphine, once my rival, became something I never expected, a mentor. She did not laugh at me. Instead, she gave me a hard truth. She explained that a man loves his wife for her soul, but he also needs to desire her. She said marriage is not the finish line of love. It is the arena where the real fight begins. She told me a woman must take care of herself, not just for her husband, but as proof of her own worth. For the next 3 months, I changed. Seraphine guided me. She taught me the art of how to present myself. She showed me how the right clothes can shift your energy from the inside. I rebuilt my wardrobe. I rebuilt my routine. I stopped wearing dull, shapeless clothes at home. I chose elegant dresses instead. Dresses that made me feel powerful, feminine, alive. I did not do this to compete with Leora. I did it to bring back the woman Calum had fallen in love with. The change in Calum was instant. He started leaving work early. He was pulled back to a home that felt alive again. He would watch me as I moved through the kitchen. His eyes followed me with a warmth I had not seen in years. One Saturday morning, I stood beside the coffee maker. I wore a silk gown. He walked in. He stopped. He just stared. He told me he had forgotten how beautiful I was. He told me how lucky he felt. As he held me close, I understood something important. He had never stopped loving me, but I had stopped showing up for us. My heart had warned me before the fire could start. I learned something deep that day. Beauty is not about vanity. It is about the effort we give to the things we treasure. Marriage needs a never-ending chase. You cannot stop trying just because you have the ring. To keep a fire burning, you must keep feeding it. I made a promise to myself that day. I would never be invisible again. The most captivating woman in my husband's world would always be the one waiting for him at home. Thanks for listening to my story. If you liked it, hit that subscribe button, drop a comment, and tell me where you're listening from.